even what Islam teaches. As a matter of fact, jihad does not mean holy war. Jihad can be, it means struggle, or a struggle for the sake of Allah. I mean, now don't get me wrong, jihad can be a war, but that's only if, let's say, someone is trying to stop you from worshiping God. It's actually prohibited to wage war on people for the sake of racism, or race, nationality, worldly gains, or even revenge. You know, so it's kind of funny to me how, and sad at the same time, how Muslims get blamed, or Islam gets blamed for a handful of Muslims doing something that they aren't supposed to, because they're not following the actual teachings of the Quran. It's almost like if a Catholic priest molests a little boy, and then I turn around and say, "Woo, them Catholics, man, all them Catholics are crazy." Or, you know, Timothy McVeigh, you know, Oklahoma City bombings, you know, doing it in the name of God. God told him to do it. You know, Christianity wasn't blamed for that. Or even down to just, you know, if you see an Indian guy getting, you know, wrecking someone for drunk driving, and we automatically assume that all Indians are drunks. You know, but you might hear of it, but it doesn't get hammered into your head the way Islam does. And, you know, I had to realize, you know, why does Islam get picked on? So, you know, eventually, long story short, because I said I'm not going to go into too much detail, even though I kind of already had, I went down to my local masjid, or a mosque, trying to buy a Quran. You know, at the time I didn't know. I went ahead and I picked one up, started reading through it, and I'm not going to lie, you know, I cried. You know, I cried. You know, it just seems like if it was speaking to me. And other than that, you know, I did my shahada, which basically is bearing witness that there is no one or no God that deserves worship besides Allah, besides God, and we don't associate any other partners with Him, and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is His prophet, the last messenger. And you know, other than that, you know, everything after that I learned is just basically research and not believing what the media tells you what Islam is, because it's not. And you know, there are extremists, but every religion has their extremists. You know, the only thing is always that when it happens with a Muslim, it gets hammered and repeated and repeated and repeated in your brain till people automatically assume what they think of Islam. But it's pretty ignorant if you haven't studied it yourself. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and buy a Quran. There's plenty of information online that will explain to you what Islam really teaches. Peace, treating people right. No, we don't demean our women. No, we don't treat them beneath us. They're actually treated equally. You know, and I'm sure that the message in the comments are going to come flying towards me. I know there's things that I didn't touch on completely. For the most part, I'm just really saying is that I was into drugs, I was into smoking weed, I was into selling drugs, rapping. Yeah, I used to be a little rapper talking about hoes and girls and, you know, being very promiscuous and fornicating left and right, and you know, just doing all the things that I shouldn't, you know, and just getting too involved in what's going on in this world and not what's going to happen after. So for me, you know, long story short, really long story short, I accepted Islam, and my life hasn't been better. Things have been great. I got a little daughter here. Daisha, come here. Just to kind of show you. This is my daughter. Look, say hi.
Hi.
Say assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
That's my daughter. And so if you hear the noise in the background, that's her. And if you see me looking around, you know, if I'm not looking at a paper that I wrote, then that's that. But for the most part, you know, I just wanted to make this a somewhat of a quick video about why I reverted to Islam. If people have general questions and non-ignorant ones, go ahead and send me a message, leave a comment. But, you know, the hateful ones, depending on how hateful, I may or may not leave it, you know, it depends. But other than that, if you sat through this this recording that I did on my webcam and my cheap camera, then thank you, shukran. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.